I've seen Diddy have to hire extra security, almost the military, to stop people from wanting to scale the wall to get in his house, because on the other side of that wall is Beyonce, Jay-Z, and every big star you want to know.
Hold up, because this story is about to take a wild turn. Jason Lee, the man known for spilling all the tea in Tinseltown, has been on the hunt for the juiciest celebrity secrets for years. And now he struck gold with a bombshell that's guaranteed to send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. You see, Jason Lee isn't just your average gossip hound. He's got connections in all the right places, and he knows how to dig deep to uncover the truth. So when he caught wind of some seriously shady business going down with Diddy, he knew he had to investigate it. All started with a tip from an insider, someone close to Diddy's inner circle. They dropped a hint that the music mogul was involved in some dark dealings, the kind of stuff that would make their skin crawl. Jason Lee, never want to shy away from a challenge, decided to follow the trail and see where it led. He started asking questions, putting out feelers to his network of sources, and bit by bit, the pieces started falling into place. Jason Lee discovered that Diddy was allegedly involved in some seriously messed up industry sacrifices, the kind of stuff that you only hear about in horror movies. But here's the thing, Jason Lee isn't just going to sit on this information. He's ready to blow the lid off this scandal and expose the truth to the world. He's been building a case, gathering evidence and testimony from those in the know, and now he's ready to drop the biggest bombshell of his career. What exactly did Jason Lee uncover about Diddy's dark sacrifices? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But one thing's for sure, it's the kind of revelation that's going to shake the entertainment industry to its core. And the next shocking truth Jason Lee is about to unleash is the kind of thing that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the price of fame and fortune in Hollywood.
In that moment, I had a choice to show up and be me, and I did. But it's not the old me that would have lost it.
Yeah.
And just put it all out there for everybody else to watch without context, to go, gotta stay away from that guy. You know, so that's the part of the evolution that I'm on. I don't know if it's therapy, I don't know what it is, but I'm happy with it.
You said there's a difference. You call yourself a culture critic,
Yeah.
not an entertainment journalist.
Right.
What's the difference?
Well, for me, remember, was it Ebert, Siskel and Ebert, where they used to watch movies and they used to have their critic of it? You know, I watch the industry play out, I watch entertainment and politics play out, and I have an opinion for it. A journalist, they don't really have opinions, in my opinion. They're writing a story, they're telling a story without putting their opinions on it. I like to have an opinion. I've never written a story on my website. I don't write stories. I have writers that do that. I have social media. I don't post on Hollywood Unlocked. My writers, they do all of that. They have editorial discretion, do whatever they gotta do. Of course, within the guidelines I've set, and if there's any questionable thing, they'll ask and I'll say yes or no. But when it comes to my opinion, I get my notes of what the topic is, and then I just say what I think. Very rarely go through all the notes.
You started Hollywood Unlocked in 2015.
Yes.
With who?
Me.
Now, in 2024, how many employees do you have?
Oh, now I have there's probably a total like 14. Yeah. Because now we have a chief revenue officer who's focused on bringing in revenue. We have a chief financial officer who's responsible to make sure we're managing the money right, and the cap table and this investors and this and that. And then, we have, we just launched Healthcare Unlocked, which is a whole healthcare initiative to get Americans healthier, because people don't know that there's $0 healthcare options affordable to them. And now for people that have been kicked off of Medicaid, the government kicked off with like 11.5 million people off Medicaid. We're helping to sign those people up through working with celebrities to promote that, getting America healthier again. So there's different parts of the business. It's evolved from a website and a social media page to a show to original content. And now we're looking at the tech side and developing our app and our network. We have an award show, which you should come to June 21st. It's Fly at the Beverly Hilton. We're evolving. There's so much more we want to do.
So, out of everything you could have covered, what was your need to cover the culture or pop culture, so to speak?
Because look at what's happening to Diddy right now. I'm not saying Diddy did it. I'm not saying Diddy didn't do it. And I'm not gonna say no Diddy. That's the whole joke online right now. But when you look at it, we cannibalize our own more than they do.
For sure.
we will cancel us before they do, and we will make ourselves the laughing stock, not understanding we're really doing the layup for it to happen to somebody else, right? You saw when Kanye got canceled for doing what he did, and what he did was very reckless in how he decided to articulate his thoughts. But then you saw how easy it was for people to try to go after and kill Kyrie for retweeting something that existed on Jeff Bezos' website. Right? Nobody ever mentioned Jeff Bezos. So, when I look at the application to cancel culture, when I look at the storytelling and how they used to vilify Floyd, and here I am on the jet with this man, super generous, looking out for everybody, inspiring kids everywhere we go, all over the world, people know him and are inspired by him. But to vilify him or make a mockery out of him or to do this and that, I'm like, there has to be a platform that has a little bit more responsibility. You can still be critical, but you got to be fair and you got to be even-handed in how you hand it out. So that's what I thought I wanted to do. So as a critic, it was Charlemagne who said, because he was somebody else I looked up to, and you see his evolution from when he was with Wendy to now, I looked at him, he said, man, it's really hard for me to tell what you are, but if anything, you're a culture critic. So I called my attorney and I said, trademark culture critic, because that's what I am. And then now that's what because they would say, oh, he's a blogger. How you gonna call me a blogger and put me in not that there's anything with being a blogger, but that's your way of minimizing my impact, or that's your way of minimizing my power. That's your way of minimizing my influence. And dumb people will buy into that shit. I'm way bigger than that. Because there's people like, the people that at the Wendy Williams show that told me I wasn't big enough to host her show. Then I went out and built the show that was making more numbers than with Sherry, shout out to Sherry, I love her show now, but when she first came out the gate, I killed her in the numbers. And I didn't have the big infrastructure of a network behind me and, all these advertisers. It was just me, my 3 people, and a studio I built, and we killed them, crushed them with Cardi B first episode. So I look at it like, again, being a culture critic, you have a responsibility to the culture while being critical to also protect it and make sure that other people recognize that.
I feel that. I mean, granted, you're here on set of Funky Friday, funded by yours truly, and I've always said this many times, that what I penetrate or project into the world is something that I want people to see authenticity. I want people to see like, yo, bro, I care to tell the truth. And I want to be very relatable to the people who I want to impact. You just can't put me in this corner to say like, oh no, don't say that or don't do that. It's like, no, bro, I want to give hope to people by saying, you can still make it by being yourself.
Yeah.
And we're living in a very sensitive world, might I add. But at the same time, being fake is popular. Mm-hmm. Being real is castrated.
It's really scary. It's really scary. Like, I don't post on social media like I used to anymore because I understand the weight of my influence and the words I use. Right. But there are times I'll look at things happening and I want to go say something, but I choose now to only do it if it's in my podcast or on my show. It's a part of my show.
Right.
Because if I go say it on Instagram, it hits different. People go, But we are living in a world where everybody's ultra sensitive. And this is the craziest part of how we're all trained to become enslaved to the bull. You want that brand endorsement, you got to fall within the guidelines or fall within the culture of this brand. Well, if your opinion or your free thought doesn't fall within the guidelines of a brand that's going to pay you, that means you're paid for your thought. So you're really not a free thinker, you're a slave. And so I don't have all the deals I could have, and I'm going to get deals because they're being offered to me now, but I keep telling everybody, if you want me to work with you, you're going to have to understand the level of freedom that I operate in. I'm going to have to be able to say what I think and what I feel. And here's the scary part about it. Howard Stern can do it. Joe Rogan can do it. But if you black and brown and you do it, no, you didn't think that noose was off your neck. You better get back over there and sit down. See, that's why I love it. They can't get me. And as soon as I feel like they're going to get me, like Tamara Hall. I don't really hate Tamara Hall. She's beautiful. She's a wife, mom, and all that. But like, why all the black people keep saying you don't like black people at your show? There's this doctor, if you go and look, Dr. Ian, I think his name is. He went and said how the producers over there was treating him as a black man. He went into this whole thing. You got to go watch it anyway. There's a problem over there because you're too busy chasing TikTok, like most of these rappers, because you fall on that TikTok. Well, what happens when TikTok gets banned? All you motherfuckers ain't gonna know who you are. I am. I'm viral on TikTok every day and never even know how I got there. It just finds its way to TikTok. I don't give a fuck about TikTok. But everybody right now is enslaved to being fake, because to be real, to be that one thing that ain't like nothing else, boy, you ain't in line. But Joe Rogan and them can do it and get $200 million to do it.
A big bag.
Crazy.
But I have to ask, and you being in the position that you've created for yourself, admirable, might I add. Everything that's happened with Diddy right now.
Yeah.
Like, how does that affect you? Real relationship, I'm pretty sure you've built a relationship with him respectfully over the years of knowing who he is, what he represents.
Yeah.
Your show was on Revolt.
Yeah. I don't have a friendship with Diddy. He's not my friend. We don't hang out. We've texted a few times. I was on his network. I've been to many of his house parties. Let's start with different silos of Diddy, right? Okay, on one hand, cultural icon. He's done a lot for music, fashion, culture. He had a school, network ownership, one of the few black owners of a network. Musically, he's inspired the world for years. As a human being, he's had lots of conflict. You had Tupac's death, Biggie's death, all the drama. We had the shooting with J-Lo, Shine went to prison. Maybe he shouldn't have went to prison. There's always been these stories about Diddy being evil. I've heard he was the devil. I heard he was evil. He even once threatened me. But I don't know if it was the De Leon or Ciroc or if it just felt itself. But I was taking a picture in his house and he walked over and he said, "Don't you ever fucking try me. I'm letting you know right now I'm a different type." I said, "Do you want to get in the picture or not? Because I'm drunk, you drunk, and I ain't about to do this with you." Yeah, he got in the picture, took the picture, he said, "I f with you, man. If you don't get your crazy Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde ass out of here." But you know, that was the little experience I had with him. But every text was always love, it was always cool, it was always nice to me. When I see him and Cassie together, I have a video somewhere on one of my Snapchats, them dancing through the house and having a great time, all love. I mean, I've seen Diddy have to hire extra security, almost the military, to stop people from wanting to scale the wall to get in his house because on the other side of that wall is Beyonce, Jay-Z, and every big star you want to know. T.D. Jakes was there too, but I don't know if he was busting open. I'm just saying. Because they said that too about the good bishop. This is what I hate about the internet. If you say it is true, if you think it is true, if somebody retweets it is true, everything ain't true. I don't know. What? I'm just saying, the fact that they said the bishop was busting open, I honestly had to take a break that week because I said what we not gonna do is take a man who's touched the world, pause, or whatever, and in a way that all of us have felt it in our spirits when we've needed to be filled up with the word of the Lord and castrate him that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Diddy. We saw his kids the other day in handcuffs. Did we see Ivanka Trump and Trump Jr. in handcuffs? But they daddy got niggas thinking they Spider-Man climbing up the wall to kill the vice president and take over Congress and stop an election. But we ain't seen a mugshot or nothing because we're teaching people watching. Black and brown gonna be treated one way, white gonna be treated another way. Black and brown gonna be cannibalized and evil and vilified. White folks, it's a misunderstanding. We won't call a mass shooting in this country terrorism because white people killing everybody. We gonna call it a debate over guns. No, it's terrorism when you go into school and kill 6-year-olds. This, you know, Kamala Harris, biggest issue I have with her is that she just has not been able to put her feet solid on the ground with the culture and understand she said that America's not racist and now is running around to every black church that will welcome her in there because she got some white person advising her telling her that's the way to get the black vote. So I feel very passionately about these things. I think with Diddy, what we're watching is we live in an era where celebrities gotta be careful and gotta be fearful at all times because all I gotta do is put everything I wanna say about you in a lawsuit. Let TMZ or Hollywood Unlocked or anybody run the lawsuit because you can't sue a lawsuit. It's a public document. So it got out to the public. So they did their dirty work. And then, regardless if you're guilty or not, you're gonna lose everything.
For sure.
And then by the time you get to court, you lost it all and okay, yeah, you didn't do it. It's crazy. So I'm not saying that Diddy didn't do it or he did do it. I think if he goes through his process like R. Kelly did, but we saw the R. Kelly tape, so we knew he did that. Y'all kept dancing in the name of love and asking if you could fly. You saw what that did to that little kid. You. But anyway, with Diddy, we didn't see all this stuff. I saw him and Cassie embracing each other, dancing and, you know, whatever. And then she said what she said. We don't know if it happened or didn't happen. We know she got a bag. We don't know how much. And then that opened the floodgates to dogpile on Diddy, and Diddy's lost it all. He's lost a school that was helping black kids. He's lost his clothing line that none of us were buying at Sean John over at Macy's. He lost Revolt. He lost his Grammy nomination. He lost the deal with Ciroc, and he was getting $50 million a year. Don't get that deal's gone. He's lost it all. And then, like, we're happy about that.
All right, so you've heard about industry sacrifices, right? Those shady deals that go down behind closed doors, the kind of stuff that would make your blood run cold. Well, buckle up, because the tea that Jason Lee is about to spill on Diddy's alleged sacrifices is straight up scandalous. Word on the street is that Diddy's been playing a dangerous game, making sacrifices left and right to keep his empire afloat. We're not just talking about working long hours or kissing up to the right people. No, we're talking about the kind of sacrifices that cross lines and blur boundaries, the kind that leave a stain on your soul. According to Jason Lee's bombshell revelations, Diddy's allegedly been throwing shade and stabbing backs like it's nobody's business. He's been cutting ties with loyal friends, burning bridges with longtime collaborators, and even turning his back on family, all in the name of what? Power, money, fame. It's a twisted web. And Diddy's supposedly been spinning it for years. But hold up, because it gets even worse. Rumor has it that Diddy's sacrifices go beyond just relationships. We're talking about sacrificing integrity, morality, and even lives. Jason Lee's sources claim that Diddy's been involved in some seriously dark rituals, the kind that would make your skin crawl. Blood oaths, black magic, demonic pacts. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but Jason Lee swears as it's the truth. If these allegations are true, then the implications for Diddy's career and personal life are massive. How can someone who supposedly sold their soul for success ever find peace or redemption? How can they look themselves in the mirror knowing the price they pay for their fame and fortune? But here's the thing, Diddy is not the only one in the industry rumored to be making these kinds of sacrifices. It's like a disease spreading through Hollywood and infecting everyone it touches. And the more power you have, the more you're expected to give up in return. So what does this mean for Diddy? Will these revelations be the final nail in his coffin, exposing him as a monster who's willing to do anything for success? Or will he find a way to spin it to play the victim and make everyone else look like the bad guys? One thing's for sure, the world is watching, and the fallout from Jason Lee's bombshell is going to be epic. The question on everyone's mind now is just how far will this rabbit hole go? What other dark secrets are lurking in the shadows of T-Town waiting to be exposed? And who will be the next to fall as the truth comes to light? Now, here is what Cat Williams has to say on the situation. Lee finally dropped the bombshell about Diddy's dark sacrifices. He didn't hold back. This Hollywood insider, known for always spilling the hottest tea, took to this popular gossip blog to unleash the shocking truth. In a series of explosive posts, Jason Lee laid out all the dirty details he'd uncovered about Diddy's shady dealings. He didn't just throw out vague accusations. Either Jason Lee came with receipts, posting screenshots of incriminating texts and emails along with recorded conversations from anonymous sources. Deep within Diddy's camp, the evidence was damning, painting a disturbing picture of a man who'd stop at nothing to maintain his power and success. As soon as Jason Lee hit publish on his expose, the internet went into a frenzy. The story spread like wildfire, with fans and haters alike eagerly devouring every juicy detail. Social media lit up with reactions from shock and disgust to morbid fascination. Diddy's name was suddenly trending for all the wrong reasons, his reputation taking hit after hit with each new revelation. But it wasn't just the general public that was buzzing about Jason Lee's bombshell. The entertainment industry was shook, with insiders whispering about the fallout to come. See, Diddy isn't just some random celebrity. He's a major player in the game, with his fingers in all sorts of pies, from music to fashion to media. This man has built an empire on his name and reputation. So for Jason Lee to come out swinging like this, making such bold claims about Diddy's misdeeds, it was a big freaking deal, of course. There were those who tried to downplay the situation, brushing off Jason Lee as just another gossip monger looking for clout, but the evidence was too compelling to ignore, and even Diddy's most die-hard defenders had to admit that things weren't looking good for the mogul. In the days and weeks that followed, Jason Lee's expose mirrored a larger conversation about the dark underbelly of celebrity culture. Fans and critics alike started looking at their favorite stars with new eyes, wondering what kind of sacrifices they might have made for fame and fortune. The curtain had been pulled back, revealing the ugly truth behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. For Jason Lee, the bold move to take on a heavyweight like Diddy was a gamble that paid off big time. His blog traffic went through the roof, and he quickly became the go-to source for anyone looking for the latest scoop on celebrity scandals. But more than that, he'd shown the world that even the most untouchable stars could be brought down to earth with the right kind of dirt. So while Diddy may have thought he was invincible, Jason Lee proved that no one is above the truth. And in a world where image is everything, that's a lesson that some celebrities are learning the hard way now. Let's turn of attention to Jim Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard.
Kim Porter, we all know about the time that she cut Diddy with a corkscrew. Do you recall any other time that her and Diddy got into it?
Well, I could hear it in the suite, in the hotel suite. And then sometimes when Kim lived on 70th something street, and I would go upstairs with Diddy, you could hear the shit in the hallway. And I would just shake my head when he come out or whatever, and Kim would be in the house. And it's always about where she was at or who she was dealing with. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna see you physically put your hands on nobody. I don't give a shit who you are, or what. I'm not gonna see you physically put your hands on her. You understand? That's not gonna be me. You know, first of all, I can't. The position I was in, you understand? Investigator for child abuse, worked for Elite Investigations, New York State parole officer. I'm mandated to do something. You understand? I'm mandated to do something. If she says, yo, his bodyguard was right there, but I'm still moonlighting, I'm moonlighting as his bodyguard, I'm working as his bodyguard, but I still have that other function as a state officer. I'm mandated to do something. And because the type of dude I am, I'm gonna do something anyway. If you don't want me there, it's all right, it's all good. He could have fired me when I told him I'm gonna whoop his ass when he said something to his mama like that. He could have fired me then. It didn't make no difference if he did or he didn't. At the time, I'm Gene, I'm Big Gene. He need me more than I need him. I had the two biggest cats, the three biggest people in New York City behind me. Chaz Williams, Slick, and K. Slay. Do you understand what I'm saying? All those guys representing me, I'm on their team. So he needed me more than I needed him. Because they're not gonna do nothing to him. They're not gonna push up because they know, oh, that's Chaz man with him. That's K. Slay man with him. That's Slick man with him. You understand? So now, I don't care nothing about what he say. If he wrong, he do something wrong around me, I'ma straighten his ass out. Especially if he do something wrong to a woman. I'm not doing that. That got on his knees one time when we was in the club, and I think Kamara ran out when he said some profanity to her. I think we was in Envy's. No, we was in Envy's? No, we wasn't in Envy's. Was it Envy's or Eugene? We was at one club, and he had said some fly shit. I said, yo, that's Russell Simmons' wife. But if her security ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing, he just cursed her. But that's a whole nother story at a whole nother time, bro.
Crazy, man. So you could hear Diddy putting hands on Kim Porter.
Well, see, he always do, like I told you, he be doing that. He'll start off, he'll have something on his mind, and he'll like that play fight with them. You understand? And he'll be hurting them when they to the point where they'll be like, yo, stop. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they got the room is locked. You don't hear none of that. And then, you know, Kim would walk out in her white robe, and you could see it in her face. But what are you gonna do?
Right. I always wanted to ask you this, man. Do you know anything about these after parties that Diddy be having?
Which after parties? There's a lot of after parties. There's a lot of after parties for a lot of different reasons. There's after parties if we doing it at the hotel after we do a party, or there's after parties after the after party. You understand?
Right. I guess the one people talk about is the after party.
Well, those will be when him and somebody that he needs something from or wants something from, and he'll get those girls and he'll line them up with him, and they'll all go in the same room, and about the end of the next morning, he done got what he need and got what he want. Because 9 times out of 10, he done put those people in a position, in an awkward situation, that they're gonna have to give him what he wants.
What you mean by that? Go more into detail about that.
I don't want to go back to this, man, because it's difficult to go back to. But when he took D-Rock out, that was Big's man, pots and pans. And D-Rock understood. I made it clear to him, don't be nowhere where me and Puff is at while we in Cali. Y'all don't come nowhere. D-Rock shook my hand and said, bet that. I come to find out years later through a statement that Clark Kent made that D-Rock and Puff made plans to take Big to that party at the museum that Big lost his life. That came out, super producer, executive Clark Kent's mouth. I knew that to be true because Puff took D-Rock out.
The ripple effects of Jason Lee's explosive revelations about Diddy's dark sacrifices are far-reaching and profound. This bombshell has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, forcing fans and insiders alike to question everything they thought they knew about one of hip-hop's biggest mogul. Word on the street is that this scandal is just the tip of the iceberg, with rumors swirling about other celebrities who may be involved in similar shady dealings.
You being around Diddy, right? You know, you was working for Diddy for a long time. You seen a lot. You know, you told me that he was a swinger, you know, him being a part of orgies. And out of curiosity, right? You know, you being around Diddy so long, I'm sure at some point he offered you something. Have he ever offered a female to you or offered you to join an orgy or anything?
Bro, we was on a tour bus one time. He had 2 snow bunnies. We picked them up in Dallas. One of the NBA basketball players introduced him to her. He asked me to go get something. I went and got it. He said, yo, Gene, they want to F you, while he was laying in the bed with both of them. And I said, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm all right. And walked out. That's the only time. And then we ended up taking those snow bunnies to Atlanta, right, with us. They went all the way from Texas to Atlanta. And when we got out the bus, it was funny as I was dying. As soon as we got the bus, the snow bunnies was coming off with Puff. And these girls stopped and they said, I know that ain't Sean Puffy Combs with 2 white girls. Some girls was yelling that out. Yo, those girls were on the next thing flying back to Dallas. After all them other guys had used them on the bus. They might put in a suit against them. Even though they was strippers from the club.
Damn.
Because they would go in the bathrooms, like they'll come, because he had the big suite back there in the tour bus. They'll come out in the bathroom and God bless the dead, Wook, and I ain't gonna call the other person's name. They would take them in the bathroom, misuse them, to send them back there to Puff. That was crazy. It ain't funny, but that's what was happening.
So I gotta ask you, right? Because you was working for Diddy around this time when him and Jennifer Lopez broke up. And we all know that she broke up with him and she started dating one of her dancers. And it's the same situation with Diddy and Cassie, where she broke up with him and she started dating the trainer. So how was that like back then when you was working for Diddy and he broke up with, Jennifer Lopez? And how did he react to that?
Well, first and foremost is that he was trying to get Jennifer back. And she was using her personal assistant to let him know wherever Jennifer was at. That's why when Jennifer said that she'll pop up, one time she popped up and she was somebody, there was I think 100 dozen roses. Who buys a chick 100 dozen roses? Or something like that. And it was because her personal assistant at the time had some kind of lead. Her personal assistant had some kind of owed Diddy something. I don't know what she owed him, but she would let Diddy know wherever Jennifer was at so he could do something. He was trying to get Luther Vandross over there to sing to her. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna sing. He was trying to get Luther Vandross over there to sing to Jennifer. But Jennifer wasn't going for that because she had went through enough of his bull crap. Even when we come to the studio and there's like mad girls up in there and they being disrespectful or whatever like that, he was trying to convince her that, because he was in the industry, he had to have mad girls up in the studio and everything like that. And then it was time that she tried to confide and talk to me. But I would tell her, I'm not at liberty to say anything, Ms. Lopez, because I was working for him then. And she said today that he never cheated. She never caught him cheated on her. And you ain't got to catch somebody if you itching or you scratching or something like that. I don't really know. But the type of girls that he was dealing with sometimes, I don't think it was all the best of the best, because he had these white British girls, and him and his boy used to always say, "How your skinny white girl doing?" They used to ask each other. That's how they used to ask each other, "How your skinny white girl doing?" And I wouldn't mess with them with a 10-foot pole.
Was he abusing her or no?
Nah, she was too high profile for him to do some shit like that. She was Jenny from the Bronx. She ain't going for that shit, no way. She was not going for that shit, no way. I got a thing that I'm holding to, like a situation that happened at the studio. She wasn't going for that shit. Nah, not at all. He wasn't. He couldn't play fight with her.
The implications are staggering if someone as powerful and influential as Diddy can be brought down by these kinds of allegations. And no one in Hollywood is safe. But it's not just about the fallout for individual celebrities. Jason Lee's expose has sparked a broader conversation about the price of fame and the lengths some people will go to achieve success in the cutthroat world of entertainment. It's a stark reminder that beneath the glitz and glamour, there's often a dark underbelly of greed, manipulation, and exploitation. So what does this mean for the future of celebrity culture? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher as Diddy's empire crumbles and more secrets come to light. It's clear that the landscape of Hollywood is shifting in ways we never could have imagined. Get the full story on Diddy's downfall and the dark side of fame by watching 50 Cent reveals how Jay-Z and Diddy conspired to murder 3R Kim Porter. Next, 50 Cent is dropping bombs about Diddy's alleged involvement in the death of his ex. And you won't believe how deep this rabbit hole goes. It all ties back to the sacrifices and shady dealings that Jason Lee exposed. You don't want to miss it.